Hey, yo, peace, peace. It's your man, Joe's coming right back at you. Some of that real talk real fast, man. If you see my videos, man, you are lucky because they do not push my videos. But it is what it is, and we're just going to keep it moving. Now, in the last video, I was showing you this right here. I was showing you the etheric energy in alignment. Now, at the top of this is a symbol, and it's known that that symbol at the top is called the Kalachakra. Now, the Kalachakra is also referred to as the wheel of time. But the Kalachakra represents the 84,000 teachings of the Buddha, or what you would call the Buddha head, or what you would call the Godhead. Right. Now, that is the energy that exists within the middle of the torus field, the hot spot. But that also is the energy, the ether, that's going up and down your spine. This would be considered the Godhead when that etheric energy is at that point, when it reaches the point, the wheel of time. Now, what's going on inside of the spine? Inside of the spine, we have this stuff that they call cerebral spinal fluid. Now, the cerebral spinal fluid, it goes down, and then it heats up, and then it turns into a gas, and then it rises back up, and then it turns back into a fluid. Now, peep game. If you do the research, you will know that plasma, it exists in gas form, but it has the ability to manifest itself as a fluid. This is why you have blood plasma, the plasma in your blood. The plasma is of the divine intelligence, the ether or the electricity or the L. It is of the divine intelligence, and it's in your blood, and it's radiating through your whole body, even going through the small capillaries in your body. Now, the spine, radiating that energy, when you, put it this way, when you were floating around and you existed in this form right here, just an etheric gas, you had the ability to float, fly, or teleport anywhere you wanted. You were an electromagnetic being. You have ultimate power. And here, let me tell you something else about the spine. They taught us that if you took the energy in the spine and you compacted and you released it real fast at once, it would be a nuclear explosion or an atomic explosion. I can't remember which one they said, but that's how much power you have within you. Now, your spine, when you were creating yourself or bringing yourself into existence, because like I had mentioned earlier, I said that you did this when you were in your mother's womb, you created the brain first, and then everything else grew from there, the brain stem, and then everything else grew from out of that. But what you were actually doing, you were shooting off an electrical force from the spine, from your center point, and you were creating, when you shot off the electrical force, you were creating an electromagnetic field, and you were drawing the elements that you need to form yourself out of the air. This is why the cardiovascular system, it looks like electrical strikes. Here, let me show you a different picture. Boom. Right there. And look, even in the center where the spine is, it looks almost like an electrical tower. Right. You were radiating electrical shocks, and electrical shocks were magnetically pulling in what you need to bring yourself into existence. When you or the Etherians begin to manifest themselves, they place themselves in order, meaning that they place themselves in alignment. And then they begin to draw in the elements that create this thing that you would call the spine. Well, create bone, put it that way. Here's the image of the spine. Now, when you place yourself in order, you aligned yourself. You begin to draw in elements, and the elements that you start to draw in, you created this crystal, which we know as the spine. Then at that point, when you created the skull and the spine, you begin to build from that point. And then as time went by, you became these physical beings. When you became these physical beings, you still had the same magical powers that you had when you existed in etheric form. Now, earlier I said that whenever they existed in etheric form, they had the ability to, whenever they wanted to travel, they had the ability to just float, fly, or they had the choice, they could walk, whatever they want to do. But before they became physical, before they became physical, they would fly or they would just teleport from space to space. But when they became physical, they still had the abilities to fly or to teleport themselves from place to place. This is what made them walking gods. Now, the same thing that they did when they were existing in space and they began to fuse amongst each other, you know what I'm saying? Remember when I was talking about how they pulled up out of themselves and created themselves again and created other versions of themselves? They did the same thing here on this planet. At one point here on this place that we call Earth, it was nothing but gods that walked the earth. Those were the original beings on this planet. This is your man, El Judge. We still got more to talk about. I'm out.